everybody, this is Mufussy. In the afternoon commute for this episode, Galeer was in the middle of what sounds like a tsunami. If you don't like it, I apologize. I'm going to do what I can to fix it, but if you don't want to deal with that, just listen to the morning half because he pretty much summarizes what we talk about anyway. If you do want to deal with that, get ready for the shitstorm because it's something.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Dropkick, the Commute. I'm MrGaleer, and I'm pretty sure there is a hornet's nest being built outside of my apartment. If you're not familiar with us yet, hopefully you will be soon. We drive to work. We try to supply you with the wrestling news and opinions that you need. I drive a lot for work. I drive to multiple locations, but lately I've been driving to the one closest to my home, not by my own choice. Not the point, not what you're here for. You're here for wrestling. Mufussy's gonna join me later for the evening commute, and it's gonna be killer. What the hell is going on here? Alright. Well, this is lovely because there's a detour on my commute. So that actually kind of works out. Bump. But anyways, I have a lot of notes written down. There's a lot of stuff I don't want to talk about until Mufussy's here. So for some of these, I'll just try to give like the 30,000 foot view of things. Raw happened. By the way, the date, it's Wednesday, May 8th. So happy May 8th, happy Wednesday. We got Dynamite tonight, so we'll preview that. Raw was a great show. Again, I'm just getting into the habit of watching like WWE programming again for the sake of this podcast. So it's been a minute since I've watched Raw in full, and I'm gonna put air quotes around in full because I watched the Hulu version, which is already cut down. The Hulu version's about 2 hours, so some stuff, some fluff and fillers cut out, obviously, like commercials and things like that and what have you. But Raw was really good. We started the qualifying matches for King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring, and we're already planting the seeds for that pay-per-view, which is only 2 weeks away from Saturday. So it's coming up fast. It's going to be good, though. As good as a Saudi Arabia show can be, there's a lot of good potential for the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournaments. Right off the bat, like, I see Gunther and Ilya Dragunov meeting each other in the semifinals for Raw. If they were smart enough, they'll do that. I really fucking hope so. A lot of good stuff there. We're getting little teases of what I'm pretty sure is Uncle Howdy. Punk is a troll, as usual. Love the stuff. Judgment Day. We're seeing more cracks. And yeah, I mean, overall Raw, it was an entertaining episode of Raw. And I definitely, was paying attention to it. Especially the main event, Gunther versus Sheamus. Again, just really good stuff. And yeah, and then of course we got Liv and Becky setting up for that match at King and Queen of the Ring. So, like I said, it's all going to be great. Raw was great. We'll talk about it more in depth later. I want to bring up with Mufussy the DLC pack that's dropping next week in 2K. We are 2K players. GCW, of course, my virtual wrestling promotion on my Twitch channel. So we'll talk about that a little bit. It's the ECW Punk pack. And then, of course, I wanted to preview Impact. I want to kind of get Impact into our watch schedule. There's so much wrestling during the week, though, that it's tricky. But, I've always loved Impact. I've loosely followed them since the pandemic. And here and there before, but the pandemic really is when I actually would watch their weekly product. For the amount of people that trash on it, and they can be kind of nonsensical and goofy sometimes. They put on great matches. They got some of the best wrestlers that can do it. I'm talking Jordan Grace, Speedball, Mike Bailey, and then they have a good mix of they just have a good mix. That's actually where I'd stop that. They have a good mix of people. They put on good matches, and they just had a pay-per-view. They just had the pay-per-view Under Siege. And from the looks of it, from everything I saw on Twitter, again, I'm going to try watching it before that new episode, but Under Siege looked killer. Matt Hardy and Speedball Mountain Mike Bailey and Trent Seven, or as he called the Ball of Speed, and Trent the Seventh. They were part of a 6-man tag match in the main event with Moose, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers. We had Mustafa Ali, who I'm so glad he's finally out of WWE. I know he's been out for a while, but I'm so glad he's doing other things. I'm glad he has a championship that means something, that being the X Division title, of course. New Knockouts tag team champs, Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich. Cool stuff there. One of the matches that's been advertised leading up to this Thursday is ABC, which is Chris Bay and Ace Austin are going to take on Speedwell Mountain. And the winners of the tag team match will face each other, and then the winner of that will go on to face Ali for the X Division Championship. Now, I think that's really cool. Not only is the tag match going to be good, but either team winning is going to give us a good match the next week. Dunkin' time.
Hi, can I help you?
Hi, could I please get a small berry burst and an order of everything bagel minis?
Gotcha. I mean, that's going to be it today?
Yeah, that's it.
Nice. You're all set. Thank you.
Thanks. I told Justin this, but this is also how I extend the commute, and it's not a great way. Gotta get my fix. If they take the berry burst off the menu, it's over for me. And one of these days I will try the watermelon donut.
$6.78. Hi.
Thank you.
All set.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You too.
And rolling along, our last order of business to talk about, and again, getting into all this with Mufussy later, but we're going to quickly just preview AEW Dynamite, which will be airing tonight on May 8th. We're still in Canada. We're in Edmonton. We're going to be having Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta. We're going to see what happens there with Don Callis having worked his magic last week. I'm very curious to see how that goes. But I think these two are capable of, they put on great matches against other people. I think against each other will be no different. So that's going to be killer. The Cope Open, Brody King will be stepping up this time around. And again, this is one of the stories that I'm a little more interested in. You're going to see some kind of supernatural thing unfold, perhaps, with Adam Copeland the closer we get to him versus Malachi Black. And either we get it set up so that Malachi Black dethrones Copeland or he retains. I'm okay with either option. I think either option looks great, but I'd really love to see Malachi Black win a singles title because he's been doing nothing but trios stuff since he got here, basically. Swerve and Christian will meet face-to-face after their little confrontation last week. I'll be interested to see how they build towards Double or Nothing since, again, it is still about 2.5 weeks or so away. I don't have much to say there. It'll be a good match. I'm feeling like I need a little more drama as we get closer to it, and hopefully we get that next week. We got some other matches too. We got Jericho in action. We got Mariah May versus Harley Cameron. Serena Deeb gonna probably squash someone to get her in a good position before her match with Toni Storm. Obviously, I don't think Serena Deeb is going to dethrone Toni Storm at Double or Nothing. But she's a great wrestler. They'll put on a good match. They always do. And about the Jericho match, there was an important note I missed. Him and Big Bill will be teaming up, and they will be in action. And I want to make a correction because last week I said Jericho won his match with Shibata, and then Big Bill was like, I want to learn under Jericho. Big Bill helped Jericho win the match. So there was a little mix-up there on my part. So he has taken Big Bill under his wing, and Big Bill could be fine as a single star, but alas, he is not. And then, our big news, Kenny Omega will be once again returning to Dynamite with an important announcement. And I can only speculate, of course, but based on what happened last week, we either see Kenny be like, I'm cleared to compete, let's do this shit now, which I don't know if that would make total sense. Or perhaps Kenny Omega comes out to announce he has to retire, and then something's got to happen with the Elite and the Bucks. That sounds more likely, because like he took a beating last week. He was like, any blunt force trauma to like my gut and my stomach could, you know, seriously hurt me, and that's exactly what happened. And then he sold it like that. So maybe they're gonna sell us a retirement angle. The Bucks are gonna make things worse. Who knows? All we know is that Kenny is okay enough to come back. To what capacity, I don't know. But if he's being featured 2 weeks in a row, you gotta imagine it's not for nothing. Like I said, I love Kenny Omega. Favorite pro wrestler, one of my favorites of all time. And of course, we can hope that he's coming back soon. As a babyface, of course, is always great. I love babyface Kenny. I don't know, makes more sense. His promos as a heel don't feel heelish. They just feel goofy. So, shout out Kenny. We'll hear what he has to say tonight. That's all I got on my end for the morning commute. We will see you later this afternoon with Mufussy.
Hello and welcome to the evening commute for May 8th, 2024, the year of our Lord, 2,000 years after the birth of Christ.
Is that confirmed? Dude, this rain is so fucking loud.
You're gonna have to yell over the rain.
I really don't know how salvageable this is gonna be, but you know what? You get what you get, and you don't get upset!
It really just adds to the immersion of the commute. It's about the experience. We're gonna immerse them so much that they think it's gonna be raining wherever they are.
Is that can that be considered gaslighting?
Yeah, gaslighting, just like the learning tree.
Oh my god. Welcome to the learning tree, everybody.
Welcome to the
I'm super excited to see Chris Jericho and his tag team partner Big Bill in action tonight on Wednesday Night Dynamite on TBS at 8/7 Central.
How exciting.
On TBS.
The learning tree is something else. Truly.
The learning tree is... Yeah, it's a gimmick.
It's a gimmick.
Why can't they just put him on like Collision or something where I don't have I watch if I had to rank them, for sure it'd be like Dynamite, Collision, Rampage from like best to worst.
Yeah.
So in that case, why don't they just put him on Rampage?
Just leave him on Rampage forever, then he doesn't have to be on our TV screens as much.
The thing is, he was like their big ticket name when they first were a company.
It's true.
You know, I think I took the wrong exit. I'm gonna be real with you. Anyways.
Nice.
Yeah, he was their big ticket name when he showed up in AEW. He's their first world champion. Nah, I get it. Look, I'm not a pro wrestler, but like he had a program with MJF a few years ago where he was like, if I lose, then I'll retire. And you know what?
It would have been a good ending.
Time.
It's like when a show goes on for too long and it had the perfect season, or it had the perfect series finale, but then they just let it roll on because they wanted money.
Yeah. Exactly.
But enough about the learning tree. We have Monday Night Raw and NXT to talk about, Galeer.
Monday Night Raw, dog, baby.
Dude, Raw was very good. We got Gunther Sheamus 3, bro.
Can people shut the fuck up about Sheamus' weight?
Dude, people are still posting about it. He looks so good.
Just shit talking. I know I was just shit talking Jericho and how he looks. Sheamus isn't that far behind him in age. I mean,
Sheamus still looks like he could rip me in half, bro.
Like, he still could. He can rip anybody.
I know, he still can.
Yeah, he looks fine. Leave him alone, dude.
I mean, listen, I'm not one to, judge the athleticism of Jericho or Sheamus, because, I can't do a moonsault like Jericho can.
Yeah. Sheamus, I mean, he's been back for a few weeks now, but I think they've like given him a new finisher, where it's like this wicked knee to the face. It's almost like a pump knee strike.
Yeah.
They literally call it the kneecap. Very original name.
He I thought it was I thought in their match it was really interesting how they kept, you know, Gunther kept going for the leg, so then he like couldn't do the bro kick, and Gunther just fucking kept wailing on that leg, and then you had
oh yeah, he was like chopping it.
yeah, and then you had Ludwig Kaiser do a drop kick to the leg on the apron, and I was like, this is fucking crazy, dude.
That was the story of the match, was the leg, and it,
Yep.
you know, it felt like a huge match. Sheamus, you know, was fighting through it, and ultimately it ended with the single leg crab.
Yep.
Sheamus tapping out. I thought that was pretty huge.
Yeah, it was a very good match, good ending. Do you think Gunther's gonna win King of the Ring?
I think he has to at this point.
Yeah, I feel like it's like next for him.
Yeah, well, like no Intercontinental Championship at the very least. Give him like an accolade like that.
Yeah.
You know, dude, the ring general, more like the fucking king general. Am I right?
Yo, for real.
I think they would be stupid to not have the Raw finals end with him and Ilya Dragunov.
Oh, that would go hard.
Well, just solely based off of their history.
Yeah.
You know, a few weeks ago, I showed Mufussy because he had never seen Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther, NXT UK from like, I think it was October 2020. No fans. It was just them, and they beat the fuck out of each other. And then they did it
Crazy
again.
match, dude.
They did it again a year later at an NXT takeover, and they're just both some of the realest wrestlers ever.
Yeah.
And I would not wish to be locked in a room with either of them. Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther in those Raw finals, that has to be the move. That's my opinion. I think it's like right there in front of us. I mean, like, dude, they put him over Ricochet, who has been, you know, main roster for years, and this was Ilya's second match on the main roster, and they put him over the new WWE Speed Champion.
Oh yeah, the WWE Speed Champion. How do you feel about Speed?
I think it's cool. It's a cool idea. I don't know why it has to exclusively be on Twitter.
Money.
Yeah. Well, yeah, money and brand deals, whatever. But what really confused me is they made such a big deal, and they were like, yeah, Ricochet's the new Speed Champion. He didn't even come out wearing it, dude.
For real, yeah. Like, it's kind of wacky how, like, they have a whole championship for it, and then he doesn't even come out wearing it. Like, they've been hyping it up so much on Raw and SmackDown, like, WWE Speed every Wednesday, and then they crown the champion, and then he doesn't even come out wearing it. It's like, well, what's the point? Like, you're only going to have him wear it on Speed?
I think it's a cool belt design, too. Like,
yeah.
Show it off.
Yeah, and plus, like, even if he came out wearing it, it's publicity for the show. He comes out wearing it, and then people that don't know, they're like, oh, what's that championship? They look into it, and they're like, oh, guess I better go fucking make a Twitter account and watch it.
They had a killer match, though, Ricochet and Dragunov. Dragunov sells like nobody I've ever seen.
Yeah, I saw a compilation of Dragunov sells, and I was like, dude, this guy's crazy. Again, I never really watched NXT until recently, so I've never really seen that many of his matches, but from what I've seen of Dragunov, like, I really like it.
I think it's just really cool. He literally just throws his body around. Also, what's interesting, that means next is Ilya versus Jey Uso, I believe.
Yeah, that they said that for next week, yeah.
Naturally, you'd think Jey is going over. So that's what kind of has me, like, maybe about the Gunther thing, but, like, I'm trying to think of ways where Ilya could win, and all I can really think of is, like, some type of Judgment Day interference.
Yeah, or like honestly, bloodline interference too.
Oh yeah, true. But that's if Ilya is to win. Otherwise, I think it's Jey.
What else did we have on Raw? I'm trying to think. I mean, it was a good show. I'm just
I wrote things down. I have notes.
Oh.
That I'm not reading while I'm driving, by the way. I skimmed them before I started the car and left.
Yeah, of course. Safe driving, everybody.
Judgment Day opened with that whole segment. Yeah, they had a little moment and he was like, hey, I didn't like what you guys did, but thank you for doing it, and like I'm sorry for overreacting, I guess. And then they all had a nice little hug in the middle of the ring.
I love how they left Dom out of the hug, and then Dom was like, "Hey guys,
oh my
me
god!"
too.
And then he comes in. I feel almost as if he's like an estranged puppy without Rhea Ripley there.
He like doesn't fit in anymore.
Yeah,
he's like on the sideline.
They've been having him do stuff with like with LWO or Legato.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Well, I know that rivalry's over because now they're on different brands, but I don't know.
Carlito too.
Whose side he's on, because originally
now.
Wasn't he with Santos, and then last or on Raw he was with Carlito.
Yeah.
What else do we have? The QR codes that flash on the screen. That's Uncle Howdy, right? That's gotta be.
Yeah, it's teasing Uncle Howdy. I've seen I don't know if you've ever watched Wheezy Blonde or Sandy Zap. Wheezy Blonde has been I see all of her TikToks when she is like, she watches them all, she scans them all like immediately and then makes TikToks of them. So that's actually the only way I've seen them. I haven't scanned them myself because I just see them anyway on TikTok.
Yeah, well, someone else is gonna do it, you know?
Yeah, but so yeah, they've been teasing Uncle Howdy and teasing you know, the Wyatt family and stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, at first, Matt Hardy was, like, reposting them, and that's, like, such a Matt Hardy thing.
Yeah.
And so everyone was like, oh, Matt Hardy's coming back. And then he showed up at Impact.
Well,
so,
I guess, Matt Hardy, he showed up, you know, at TNA, but then I guess he's still a free agent? So, like, he didn't sign with TNA, according to rumors. So, you know, there's honestly still a chance that he shows up.
So he's still technically, like, a free agent.
Yeah. When do you think a Wyatt family return is going to happen? Probably SummerSlam. But that's, like, a long build. That's 3 months.
Right.
And they've already been doing it for a little bit.
I don't know to what capacity they're returning in, because I saw they re-signed Eric Rowan. I guess Braun Strowman is technically a possibility.
The last one was I think one of the last QR codes recently was Girl's Voice, so probably Alexa comes back too.
Oh, true. I didn't even think of that. She's been out with a baby.
Yeah, she's been out for a long time.
Like over a year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that could happen. I don't really know what the timetable would look like for that. But I guess we just keep our eyes peeled, keep watching the QR codes. Punk segment. Always good stuff, man.
Punk segment was so good. Dude, the camera shot when that one shot was so long.
It was so good. It was so good.
You had Drew and Adam talking, and then he drives away. CM Punk pulls in, says like, hey, tell the truck to cue my music, walks out, all fucking one take. All of that.
Yeah, they show him walking through Gorilla, and then the camera comes out behind him and shows the whole crowd, which I thought was really
love
cool.
it.
I love it. I love that. Yeah, they've been doing this new camera stuff. Fuck Kevin Dunn. He's out of here. The new shit is in. We got beautiful cinematography.
Yeah, Triple H during one of the press conferences, I want to say it was the one after WrestleMania, but people were asking him about the new camera shots and cinematography and stuff, and he's like, I'm just taking ideas from everybody now. Like, we've had more ideas even from PAs and stuff, and like, what if we try this? And he's like, yeah, let's do it.
It's just because like Kevin Dunn's been doing it for so many decades that like he was just, for the longest time, it was just his way.
Yeah, and he had just a stale formula, but now you have so many more minds like, collaborating and trying new stuff, and it's working, and it's so good.
But yeah, the Punk segment was great. He comes out and he's like, everyone go on Twitter and
Yeah.
fucking... Drew's on Twitter all the time. Go tag him in everything and until he comes back. And I honestly thought they were just gonna hold a segment for like fucking 20 minutes until
He
Drew came back, quote unquote. Dude, Punk is such a good talker.
He is.
Like the best talker I've ever seen and
Yeah.
ever heard in wrestling.
That's what he's
He
good
had a lot
at.
of good lines. He was like, it's like in baseball, I'm a 5-tool player. Drew is just a tool.
Yep.
And what did he say? He said something else like, you're a choke artist, but not in the way that I'm a choke artist. Which I thought was funny because, referencing the All-In footage, nobody reacted to it at all except Pat McAfee. And he was like, guillotine, yep. So I thought that was good. He's the whole fucking, I'm going to pull your head out of a bowl of haggis or whatever.
I fucking texted you immediately when he said that one. I was like, that was incredible. I was dying, dude.
I don't think this build is gonna... I don't think it can go for much longer. Like, Punk's gotta be ready soon.
Yeah, I wonder if that's gonna be a Clash at the Castle match.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, because again, it's been like... By that point, it'll have been 5 months. I'm trying to think of how long it took for him to come back from his old triceps injury. I feel like it was it's like a 5-6 month period.
Yeah.
If not Clash, then probably the next one, which I think is Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
This is like, it's getting so intense that like, I don't know how much more intense it could get. Take my fucking money.
Yeah, it's gonna be a banger, dude. It's gonna be so good. Yeah, overall Raw was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. And then today I caught up on NXT.
Is this your first time watching?
No, I watched both
Like in
Spring
full?
Break-ins.
Oh, you were a spring breaking girly.
I was a spring breaker, so yeah. So I just started watching NXT as of Spring Breakin', and aside from a few pay-per-views, like I watched Stand and Deliver. I think I watched Great American Bash last year. So I've seen a few. I don't really know everybody, but I'm learning and I'm enjoying it, and I really like the feel of NXT. I mean, that's what everyone says, because it's so different and more like personal. Like it's a smaller show. Yeah, it's alternative, and it's really good. I'm really enjoying it and enjoying the stories that I'm learning about and stuff. So
yeah, who would you say your favorite is? Just like from what you've seen so far.
I mean, just from Trick's entrance alone, and just from the match with Ilya that I saw, like Trick's pretty insane. I don't think I've seen like enough yet to like really pick a favorite per se, but I mean, Trick's a star, so.
Trick was a guest on the Supernova sessions.
Yeah.
This week on NXT with Noam Dar, everybody's favorite. I remember seeing him in 2K19 and I was like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And he's come a long way since his NXT UK days, but there's a lot I'm still trying to piece together because I also have tuned in and out of NXT. I used to be a consistent watcher like during the pandemic, and then when 2.0 happened, I just didn't watch.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what the deal is with this group Metaphor.
Yeah, there's something.
That's what they're called. I don't know how they started or what the vibe is. I'm trying to figure it out.
I'll tell you my favorite from NXT. I just figured it out.
Who's that?
Booker T.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah, man. Dude, he's so funny.
I like it. What? Dude, Trick's music is my favorite. I think that's Def Rebel. That's my favorite Def Rebel song, easily. Dude, the energy from the crowd, everything. That's why he's world champion.
Yeah.
So the bit here was that I assume it had to do with a qualifying match that got Trick to world title status, but he had against Noam Dar.
Yep.
And they showed a picture of him pinning Noam Dar, and his leg was under the ropes, so their whole bit is like, yeah, you didn't cheat necessarily, but you won and my foot was under the ropes. And then I wrote this specifically down. Oro Mensa, the guy with the pink hair.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't know what ethnicity he is, but he was like speaking some semi-broken English, and he was like, your title reign is fraudulent. And Trick just goes, what's up? You don't speak good English? You gotta go back to your fucking homeland? And everyone's like, whoa, what the fuck?
Trick's
I was like,
racist.
and then things just get even more insane, because then there's like some fucking history with him and Lash Legend. It starts becoming the Jerry Springer show. What is going on? He's like, why don't you tell them what you call me? Trick Willy Wonka. And then
it was hard to follow.
Like,
some
what
of
is
it.
going
Like,
on?
What is happening with this group, man?
And again, I don't know, and so maybe they're gonna be meta 3 now. I don't know. They're like, fuck Lash Legend.
Yeah.
And Dar hits him with an elbow and just starts, beating on him. That's the next world title match, obviously.
Yeah.
We had Wesley returning from his injury.
Yep.
I think Wesley's got to be like my favorite right now in NXT. He's been my favorite for a while, but I didn't realize how emotional that injury was. Like, the whole video package they did for him and his return, they did a backstage thing for him too, where he's like crying and everyone's like patting him on the back and like, you're back, let's fucking go.
Yeah, it was really good. I don't really know anyone from NXT, but that video, it certainly brought me up to speed, and I was like, okay, I care about this guy.
He used to be in TNA.
Oh yeah.
And he used to be in a group called the Rascals, and their gimmick is that they smoke weed. Yeah, we had him win his match against Josh Briggs, so I think that means he's gonna face Obafemi for the North American Championship. But it also looks like there could be like a fatal 4-way set up here, because it's him, Briggs, Obafemi, and then Ivar, who's in the mix.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing in the mix, but he's good.
Yeah, I love when they bring guys down from the main roster, though.
Yeah.
And Ivar and Obafemi had a really good title match last week. We had a little tag match between the No Quarter Catch Crew. I don't know how familiar you are with them, but Charlie Dempsey, the dude with the long hair, that's William Regal's son.
Okay.
They've got some kind of rivalry going on with the family. The ref isn't there. The ref just... They made an announcement. They were like, yep, the ref is not here.
He's unavailable.
And you look over, and it's just his goons kind of sitting there, and they're like, yeah, tell him. The family busted the ref's kneecaps. So here comes Stax, Channing Stax, and he's going to be the ref for this match. Obviously, he calls the match in favor of the other team. No Quarter Catch Crew loses. Basically, Tony D'Angelo is going to face one of those guys for the Heritage Cup, and they have like the catch clause, which means any one of us can defend it.
Mm-hmm.
But then the episode ends basically singling out everybody so that Charlie Dempsey's the only one left to defend the Heritage Cup, and he's like, where's your fucking catch clause now? We had a few other little spots here and there. The women's combine results, I thought that was cool that they did a combine to see who's like gonna qualify. I don't know if you've ever seen Sol Ruka's any of her matches.
No.
But she's my pick. I would say Ivy Nile, but she's main roster, so I think she's just kind of like filler. Jada Parker is a really good wrestler too, but Sol Ruka is definitely my pick. She just, like, you think about it, they recruit a lot of these college athletes. That's who a lot of these people are. That'll be cool. The ladder match will be sick. We ended the night with Chelsea Green versus Roxanne Perez.
Can you please say her name correctly?
Chelsea Green.
Thank you.
No, because Alicia Taylor didn't say her name like that.
Well,
only Sam.
There's
Samantha Irvin
only one way to say it. So
Alicia Taylor's a really good ring announcer.
yeah, she is.
I'm not sold on Roxanne as champion, or at least a heel champion.
Yeah.
Because she is a heel. That's something that we can give time to as wrestling fans.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
She used to be a Ring of Honor world champion before she was in NXT.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Ooh.
They had a good little back and forth. Chelsea did some callbacks to Matt Cardona, otherwise known as Zack Ryder. She did the Little Rough Rider.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Roxanne ends the match with the Pop Rocks and gets the W. And look, like I said, I love Roxanne, but I don't care who you are, what wrestler you are. I am never sold on a Code Red, like, being a good finisher. I think that's just because it's a normal sunset. I guess it depends on how you do it, and she did botch it a little bit, but, like, just, like, in general, like, I don't think that's a finisher. Sky Blue does it, and I'm just like, okay, it's a sunset flip powerbomb. Maybe I'm, like, reading too into it, but also the crowd didn't really react to it either. They were just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, they were like, whoa.
Because they saw the move, and then they realized, oh, this is going to be the end of the match.
Yeah.
So, and you got to give it, though, to NXT crowds are really good.
Yeah, they are.
For being in such a small space. But yeah, and still your NXT Women's Champ, Roxanne Perez, and then, of course, closed out with that.
Did you hear what Chelsea Green called Nick Aldis? Nicholas the Prickless. That's what she said. That's... And then she called, I forget what she called Adam Pearce. But it was in that little locker room segment with, what's her name? Ariana Grace? Is that her name?
Oh, Ariana Grace.
Ariana Grace, Gigi Dolan, and Chelsea Green were back there, and they were doing their thing, and she's like, I was in such a dirty locker room with Nicholas the Prickless, and it was so funny.
Goofy.
I really like those two gimmicks, like, with people that are like really good at it, because they do it so well, where you're just like, this is so fucking funny, but they're just like,
yeah,
you know, it's similar to the learning tree, where they're just like so far up their asses, and it's like just so funny to watch.
Yeah. I found out too that Ariana Grace is Santino's daughter.
Oh, really?
Very cool stuff. Also, as a quick little thing before I think we close out, I mentioned this in the morning commute, but we got the first 2K DLC pack coming out next week.
Oh yeah, it's the ECW pack, right?
Yeah, dude, we get Punk, we get the Dudleys, we get Terry Funk, we get Sandman. Sandman hasn't been in a WWE game since 2008. I'm really excited for Punk, obviously, in the game. I'm excited for the next one, too, that has Post Malone in it.
Dude, playing as Post Malone is going to be so fun.
But yeah, we covered a lot of ground this episode.
Thank you for having me on your rainy drive today, Galeer.
Yeah, I almost died, and then I turned around and went home.
Hey, we finally have an Instagram, so check out our Instagram, follow all our socials in the description of wherever you're watching / listening.
This has been the Dropkick Commute. Thank you for your continued support, and share the love of wrestling. We'll see you in the morning, or well, I guess we won't. We'll see you in the next one.
Beep beep.
It's the evening commute. It's the evening commute.
That's a better outro.